Hello my friends, it's Friday, it's the end of the week. You and me, we survived. You know what did not survive? The S&P 500, the stock market of the United States. Get in, we're gonna crash the economy. I mean, look at these two. They are having fun crashing the United States economy. And here, it couldn't be better, Dumb and Dumber. I don't like them. I'm gonna show it. Hey, I'm losing subscribers left and right, and it's even a little bit fun, you know. It's the American roller coaster we call here in Estonia. Going down is always the most fun than going up. I'm going down right now. And for that reason, I'm even more thankful for the people who are actually staying on this channel and doubling down, allowing me to do what I do. I want to read out their names because they deserve it. I want to butcher them with my Estonian pronunciation. These are the newest Buy Me a Coffee monthly members. We got Someone, of course, David Walter, Matthias Olsson, Robin van der Einden, yes, Jochni Friberg, David Skepis. Damn, it's hard to say these names, but they are the freshest members. Thank you for it. And if you want this patch, I will send it to you. Become a monthly member, write me a message and buy me a coffee. As you can see, all of these guys have written me a message, and I'll just send you out one of these bad boys. My friends, we live in crazy times with the informational warfare going on right now, not only with Russia, but now also with the United States. This is why I need good friends, good assets to do my work. One of these good assets is Ground News, #1 news comparison site in the world. We begin, I just want to show you how great you can actually shift through what you want to read and what you don't want to read. You go to For You. Here you can click whatever interests you have. You can select your own interests. I just click Ukraine and Ukraine war, and that's all I see. And from there, I'll go even tighter to select the information I really want to see. I've taken as an example for you an article, which I also talked about in a recent video. Musk says he won't turn off Ukraine's access to Starlink communication system. Before that, he previously threatened many times to do that. And 70 sources cover this news. So you see it's widely covered, and everybody has their own different agenda. This is where Ground News comes into play. They help you shift through people's agendas, news houses' agendas. For example, 11 is leaning left, 4 sources leaning right, 5 are center. And here, bias distribution, we can also see based on colors already 55% leaning left and 20% leaning right. And here you can see all different titles from different news houses. You can see how the wording in titles gives you an idea of their agenda. Well, before we shift through them, you gotta keep in mind, it has to be high factuality or extremely, very high factuality. Everything below that, you don't even wanna click at all. There's also this ownership tab, shows you who owns the news house, because the owner always has an agenda. You can also see the ownership tab right next to the title right here. It's a very easy way to shift through different titles, different news houses, and to find the one that you want to read, keeping garbage away from your brain. For example, Al Jazeera, Be Quiet, Small Man, Musk clashes with Polish PM over Starlink in Ukraine. I just covered this in my video. Musk actually replied to a Polish foreign minister, "Be quiet, small man," like he's some kind of a king after he threatened to turn off Starlink. Now, it's very important how news houses cover these kind of topics, because with the title and with your angle, you can divert people's opinions. This is why I gotta use an asset like Ground News in my videos, because I'm at the forefront of information warfare. With now Europe taking the lead in press and speech freedom, we need assets like Ground News. By the way, for a limited time, you can get the same plan I use every day for nearly half the price. Just go to ground.news/Artur or scan the QR code on the screen to get their unlimited access Vantage plan for just $5 per month. Or gift it to someone you know and have more informed conversations. Call out narratives and think critically about the stories shaping our world. I only promote brands I vet, and I do hope you find Ground News as valuable as I do in my work. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video. Let's get straight to it, my friends. Trump's special envoy with Witkoff at the head of it to talk to Russia. Well, they have arrived in Russia. In this video, we can actually see their plane landing yesterday. It landed, and we have a separate video of them driving an envoy in Moscow to the United States Embassy. Everything is documented. Not that it's important here, but you can just see it with your own eyes. And we also have a video of them leaving the United States Embassy in Moscow 1 hour later. They were in the embassy for 1 hour, and they were possibly talking to the Russian representatives there. Ukraine and US have agreed upon a ceasefire. A little meme for you, nobody even knew that US and Ukraine were at war with each other, but now they have agreed on a ceasefire, and now the ball is in Russia's court, and Trump sent the envoy to Moscow to get Russia on board. Well, a surprise. They are not on board. They will not be on board. And now, for a few days there was silence, but now Putin has officially responded to the United States-Ukrainian ceasefire opportunity of 30 days. And he did not only respond, he responded wearing a Russian uniform. This is the very first time we have seen Putin wearing a Russian uniform. I don't know, it doesn't really look good on him. The uniform looks like shit anyway, but in this specific scenario, it's horrible. We're gonna go through what he reacted to on the 30-day ceasefire, but first of all, I wanna watch a video with him walking into Kursk. Yes, you heard correctly, Putin walking into Kursk. I think it's one of his stunt doubles. Believe me, it's worth your time. Check it out. This is supposedly, real Putin, supposedly in Kursk. After Ukraine has pulled out and Russians recaptured it, check it out. He gets out of the car, he's wearing one of the fancy uniforms, meeting Gerasimov, who is slouched always with his beer belly. Every time Gerasimov is like that. They have a physical connection. And then they walk in. Putin doesn't really look happy at all. Looks very tired and so done. My God. Naleva, go to the left. Gerasimov says where to go. All right. Oh yeah, by the way, just to clear it all out, Ukrainians pull out of Kursk, they pull out of Sucha, and here is a geographical confirmation of Russians raising their flag in the middle of Sucha. Sucha is now under Russian control, and the Kursk operation is officially over. Call it a success, call it a failure. You already know where I stand with it. Even the Western analysts are split on it. I call it a resounding success. Diverting about 50,000 Russian troops with elite forces away from Ukraine into Russia. Others call it a massive failure, saying that Ukraine now was beaten out of Kursk with massive losses. Hey, you gotta make up your own mind on this. All right, now back to the topic. How did Putin react to Trump's proposal of a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine? I called it before that they will never accept it, and now let's see. Putin, and I quote, "We want guarantees that during that 30-day ceasefire, Ukraine will not conduct mobilization, training, or receive weapons." He questioned how verification and control would be ensured and pointed out that Russian forces are advancing in most areas, making ceasefire situation unclear. And to summarize it even more, Russia just delivered main ceasefire demands to US. Well, first of all, it's a Ukrainian-United States combined ceasefire opportunity for Russia, and Putin did not agree to it. He put it on his own demands. Very strong demands. No NATO membership for Ukraine, no NATO peacekeepers in Ukraine. Ukraine is denazified and demilitarized. The 4 Donbas regions, or southern regions also, we're talking about Zaporizhzhia also, are recognized as Russians, plus Crimea recognized as Russians. In exchange, cease of all hostilities, peace and stability for Ukraine. You know what's big here? Trump promised to make peace in 24 hours. Now he's struggling to make even a ceasefire. You know why? First of all, war is now like an oxygen to the Russian economy. They cannot stop this war because the war economy is the most profitable part of their economy that actually works right now. They cannot stop it. When war stops, they would actually have to start dealing with the massive issues of their economy. Right now they don't have to because it's war. It gives a reason for them to ignore everything that is going on in Russia. They cannot stop it. They don't want to stop. Secondly, Putin showed with these demands that he is not backing down an inch. These are very same demands he gave 1 year ago, 2 years ago, or when the war started, the very first day of the war. The demands have not changed at all. That means Ukraine made a step towards the United States, towards Trump. Yes, we want peace. Let's do it. Trump gave it to Ukraine also, welcoming it. Okay, we're together now. Let's go to Moscow. Let's see what they do. And Putin is not backing down an inch. Of course, we know it here in Estonia and Europe. For some reason, Trump thinks he has some kind of leverage over Russia. I don't know who he thinks he is, but as I said, he pushes around his friends, and they push back. He pushes around Russia, Russia will push back. It doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, Trump thinks he's a lot more powerful than he really is. And continuing with the Trump topic, we're going to watch snippets and sneak peeks of what he has said, 1 minute here. I want to connect it to something, because he really doesn't know what he's doing in any front. He doesn't know how to deal with Russia. We do with the Baltics. Poland does. Finland does. Trump doesn't. He needs to learn. Check it out.
Well, maybe no price tag. Look, we're going to have to see what happens, because Denmark, we need this for national security. We need Greenland very badly. You look at the Russian ships, the China ships, they're all over the place. They're, surrounding. Now, they have for a long time. That's a lane. But we need that for national security. So I don't know that Denmark has any right, title, and interest, and we're going to find that. But I can tell you, you saw the clips that were released. The people of Greenland would love to become a state of the United States of America.
You know what this reminds me? It does. This strongly reminds me of 2014 when Putin claimed that Crimea wanted to join Russia. The diplomatic relations take centuries to build, but populists try to destroy them in a day. First of all, Greenland just had their elections. Let's look at the truth of Greenland. Trump claims they want to be a state of the United States. Putin claimed Crimea wanted to be part of Russia. False, false, and false again. There is a lot of nonsense written today about the results of the election in Greenland yesterday. Trumpers are claiming that Greenland will now get a more pro-Trump government. That is not the case. Here are some insights. First of all, take off your American glasses. The Democrats who won the election have nothing to do with the American party, and the election was not for or against becoming a part of the USA for the simple reason that nobody wants to. It's not even a topic there. It's just, I don't know where Trump even got it. Local population have no interest in that. Just to elaborate on this point, when I say nobody wants to, I mean it literally. None of the candidates who ran for the Greenlandic parliament yesterday have expressed any interest in joining the US, and there are no pro-Trump parties in Greenland. That's it. That's the reality on the ground. Now you know it. This is the facts of Greenland people who elect democratically their parliament. There is no interest in joining the USA at all. Trump is attacking their allies. I mean, he's talking about annexation of Greenland. And just to illustrate this point, how much damage Trump is doing to attack his allies, check it out. This is the global shipbuilding capacity of the entire world. And we can see China dominates it. 53.3% of the entire shipbuilding capacity is in China. Next is South Korea, 30% something, then it's Japan. The United States accounts for 0.1% of global shipbuilding. Now, South Korea versus China, no competition. Japan versus China, no competition. You put these two together, you are united, not separated. You're strong. You can go against China with your capacity, with your economies, with your armies, everything. Trump doesn't understand that. Trump doesn't understand that strength comes from good friends, strong alliances. Strength doesn't come because you have the strongest economy in the world and you can do whatever and push people around. They will push back and it makes you weaker. As I say it again, what I believe, call me a globalist if you want to, strength comes with good alliances, good friends, trust, low taxes and low tariffs. This is what I believe in. talking about tariffs, let's go straight into the freshest tariff, which is United States tariff on Canadian steel and aluminium. Trump has reiterated many times that his goal is to bring those factories to the US, or in the case of aluminium and steel, bring the smelting infrastructure, sorry, I don't know how to call it, smelt houses, the big smelters who smelt aluminium and steel, right, to bring them to the US. Well, my friends, without further ado, I bring you the leader, the president of the American Aluminium Association. He knows what he's talking about because it's his field. Check it out.
A company that's planning a smelter in the United States today, they have to get the energy sector to commit to 25 or 30 years of provision of electricity. Then it will take, we believe, around 8 to 10 years to build the smelter, because you have to site it, you have to permit it, you have to build it, you have to get it up and running. And we haven't done that, I would remind you, in 45 years.
This would be incredibly disruptive to power grid.
The president of the Aluminium Association knows what's up, knows what it takes to bring those smelters back to the US. It's not about smelters only. It's not about creating jobs. You gotta allocate a massive amount of energy production to the smelters because they take so much energy. If that infrastructure is set up somewhere, it's working smoothly, it's much cheaper to just get your aluminium from there than to build everything in the US, which drives up the prices for everybody for the next 40, 30 years before it might get cheaper. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any. Take it from the president of the Aluminium Association if you don't believe me. And how is Canada reacting to United States tariffs on Canadian steel? Well, Canada Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc, sorry, I'm having fun with that, LeBlanc, add a baguette noise to that, has just announced tariffs of $29.8 billion, like $30 billion worth of US goods. And this includes tariffs on steel, aluminium, computers, tools, sporting equipment, and cast iron products. So Canada is not backing down. I don't know if Trump's gamble is to push around his friends until they just subdue to him. Surprise, surprise, you push around people, they push back. For some reason, Canada is not bowing down like a peasant. Why? Well, because they are a very proud, patriotic people who value their country, their language, and their, if I say language, I mean also the French, of course, but and their culture and their economies. They're not backing down. They're hitting back. This hurts both Canada and the United States. There are no winners in trade wars. Canada is not the only one who strikes back, because we have the woman, the myth, the legend, Ursula von der Leyen right here saying that European Union declares it will slap the USA with retaliatory tariffs on over 26 billion euros worth of goods, and not just steel and aluminium products, but also home appliances, agricultural goods, motorcycles, bourbon, peanut butter, and jeans. Oh no, not the jeans. Well, combined, Canada with the 30 billion, EU with the 26 billion, we're closing to 30, what is it, 56? Sorry, my math is bad. 56 billion already from EU and Canada tariffed in response to Trump. So this will hurt both the EU, it will hurt us, but it will also hurt Americans. It hurts everybody. This is a war amongst friends. And now, finally, I'll end this trade topic. Believe me, I want to move on also. But I'll read you this thread because it's the fastest and quickest summary of how world trade really works and how I understand it also. This is how Trump thinks about trade. Trump thinks about trade in a very two-dimensional way in terms of trade deficit or trade surplus with a single trade partner. So in this picture, he thinks the red countries are bad guys while the green ones are good guys. So the red countries are trade deficit countries and green ones are trade surplus countries. And Trump just reacts to this chart pretty much. Red, bad, okay, tariff them. Green, good, don't tariff. Let's see how it really works. It's not real. In this example of Canada and US, we see that the US buys crude oil from Canada. Why? Because when you calculate both transport and price, it is most profitable for American companies to do so. Does offering most profitable option make Canada a bad guy? No, that's how trade works. Canada helps US refineries make the most profit, and both shareholders profit and the American public profits. The US could do more shale gas, shale oil and fracking, but oil companies aren't silly. They calculated that option, profit will go down. Yeah, United States has shale oil, they could do cracking. I watched the whole analysis on this. There is a reason they import oil and refine it in the US and export it again. It is cheaper if you put up the numbers. US oil companies are right now, and refining companies are doing and have been doing the cheapest and most profitable business with oil right now. To change that is to change that. You're going to lose in profits. Do it the Trump way, and the prices at US gas stations will go up. Not what he promised to do to his voters. Now the second perspective. In the world trade, things are not bilateral at all. Let's look at the triangle: US, Brazil, and Canada. Canada red, Brazil green. In this triangle, to Trump, Brazil is the good guy and Canada the bad guy. The US sells more to Brazil and Canada sells more to the US. Is it that simple? No. Canada buys US delivery trucks, lots, because to Canadians they're most profitable. But why not more trucks? You just need as much as you need. That's the market saturation point. Trade with Brazil. The US profitably sells petroleum products to Brazil, maybe made from Canadian crude, by the way. Trump's tariffs will make that less profitable for the US. Brazil will then buy from Canada. Brazil sells crude to the US, but will buy potassium fertilizer from Canada. And all of this, taking transportation costs into account, because that is most profitable to all parties. Trade is not just bilateral, it's not a triangle, but a multi-dimensional web. You have a good trade partner, a true good trade relationship, and that involves every other trade partner that country has, because it's a massive logistical chain. Every price is there because of every other price. You attack one country, you attack the entire system. And I remind you, this system is built by the US. So it's not that simple. It's not that black and white as Trump wants the voters to believe it is. He cannot make the United States economy stronger by attacking the very foundation of the world order we have. And here I will bring you the S&P 500 chart. Now I see the comments already. Oh, Artur, S&P 500 has nothing to do with the US economy. It's just an index. Stock market has nothing to do with the US economy. It is true and it is not true. It has and it hasn't. It is an index that shows us how the stock market, the people who are buying and selling, and big funds who are buying and selling, how they project their fears into the stock market. If they sell, they think it's going to go down. If they buy, they think it's going to go up. Everybody thinks it's going to go down because they sell, and it goes down because they sell. So it is connected, and it's weird like that. But it does represent people's fears, opinions, and expectations from the American economy. That's why it is connected in that sense. And now I bring you Ryan Macbeth. I know you all watch him. Every single one of you watches him, I think. He does it the quickest way. I wanted to talk about it myself, but he just did it so quickly. It's easier to watch his video right now. Check it out.
It seems like Portugal may have canceled their procurement of the F-35, at least according to what the aviationist says. And it seems like they did so citing current U.S. political uncertainty. Now, currently, Portugal flies the F-16. They are older models, and there's really nothing in European inventory that can match the F-35, although the Rafael can come close, at least when it comes to battle management, although it doesn't have the stealth capability. So these are what you call second-order effects. When you threaten our allies, when you threaten to leave NATO or pull out of NATO, countries are going to respond with their pocketbooks. When foreign countries purchase American weapon systems, the weapon systems actually become cheaper for America to purchase themselves because the production lines are still going and the parts production is still going. So this news isn't great if it's true, and I wouldn't be surprised if India was next.
So what's the main point is? 3 points, right? Portugal and some other allies in NATO. When you buy the F-35, when you buy F-16, you buy American weapons, you don't only buy American weapons, you buy the security guarantee, you buy the invisible American support that comes with it. You're buying the world order, you're buying the American hegemony of the world. You buy the F-16, You are part of a massive revenue for the US, meaning US is interested in protecting you. Now when the president expresses interest in demolishing this world system, pulling out of NATO, no security guarantees anymore. Why would you buy an F-35 if you could buy European? Because you know they will want to protect you because it's their continent. Now I know Trump supporters will say, oh, it's Trump goal to make Europe pay more. Yes, all right. But you don't know what you're losing. You're losing not tens of billions. You're going to lose hundreds of billions of revenue from military systems orders, satellites, planes, trucks, even logistics, everything connected to military. Europe wants to buy European, maybe India. I don't know if they're going to cancel, maybe not. But if they would, it's a massive blow. Every lost revenue for the F-35 system means the plane will get more expensive. More orders, the plane will get cheaper. This is how it hurts so much the United States economy, and it will hurt so much the United States weapons export, and that's Trump's doing. So yeah, of course, I understand why Portugal wants to cancel. They're afraid of the damn kill switch, because Trump just showed how we can play around with support to the allies, to Ukraine. I mean, it's an ally of the current world order. Take away the support. You know, that's a kill switch to the United States weapons export. You got a kill switch for the F-35 or for your military support. You just killed your military export. We want to buy European now. And I know Trump supporters are happy. Yeah, we don't want to pay for you anymore. Don't. We're not going to buy anymore. And now I'll just go back 1.5 years. I mean, I think this was 23 something before the election that made Trump the president, right? Check it out. I'll let Trump speak for himself. I called it out back then that it's impossible. I'm calling it out now. And time has been on my side because he has showed he has no idea what he's doing. Check it out.
What does Donald Trump miss the most about being president?
That I could do so much. I'll give you an example. When I said I could fix this war in Ukraine in 24 hours, but you can only do it from the presidential seat. You can't do it. Let's say he sent me over as an emissary. You can't do it. You have to be in that position.
You have to be the guy.
I would fix that within 24 hours. And if I win, before I get into the office, I will have that war settled. 100% sure. Mm-hmm. And everything I said has turned out to be right.
So, I don't know what's up with him. Why is he's so confident, but he's so damn naive because Trump does not understand why Ukraine and Russia are fighting, what Russia wants and what Ukraine wants. He doesn't understand it. He thinks he is the policeman who can fix that. No, it's out of his hands. Putin is not controlled by him. It might be the opposite way. I don't know where he gets the idea that he controls the outcome of this war, even before he was the president. He cannot control it now that he is president. He cannot even control Ukraine. I mean, you were supposed to be able to control Ukraine with the military aid. He cut it off. The next day, Ukraine sent the biggest drone attack into Russia, 300 drones with like quarter of them flying into Moscow. It's a clear sign that, yes, they can cut off the military aid and satellite and intelligence support. Ukrainians are fighting for survival. They will not stop fighting because America doesn't give them weapons. They have to fight because we know what's the other option. It's bullet to the head. Trump doesn't understand that. He does not have leverage over Russia. He does not have leverage over Ukraine. He doesn't get it. While all of this is going on, we get this video from China. You know, Trump loves to say China, 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 where everything he does is combat China. He's attacking his allies. Meanwhile, China is setting up massive barges and landing ships that have 200-meter-long bridges that could, they're designed to overcome the sea walls of Taiwan. Check out this bridge right here. It's one of the largest bridges on a landing ship I've seen in the world. Definitely much larger than the one they used in D-Day. This is designed for Taiwan. Trump's supposed to be doing everything to counter this. And he's only attacking his allies right now. He's attacking European Union and NATO members more than he has ever attacked China or Russia in any way. Most sanctions placed onto Russia are under Biden's term. I wasn't a fan of Biden. He was a weak and old leader, don't get me wrong. But he put massive sanctions on Russia that hurt Russia. Trump is president now. I see him only attacking allies. That says something. And to continue with this very same topic, just to open up the Chinese barges, landing ships a little bit more. I'm supposed to have photos here. Okay, I seem to have lost the photos, I'm sorry. But Chinese naval forces around Australia, forcing civilian flights to cancel their routes, change their routes. Chinese warships have been circling the continent for a month. Notably, they entered Australia's economic zone and conducted firing exercises. So most of these Chinese ships, of course, do not go into Australian territorial waters, but sometimes they do, as you can see on March 4th. On February 11th, they crossed through on February 21st. They just cross through. It's the same playbook Russia uses. They just push these limits here and there and see how the other side reacts. If there's a diplomatic reaction, it is immediately seen as a sign of weakness and a sign and a permission and a green light to do more. So I'm not saying Australia is weak or anything. I mean, Australia, you don't want to mess with the Australians like you don't want to mess with the Canadians. I'm just saying that Trump's actions give a green light to China. China is learning from the Western reaction to Ukrainian-Russian war. The outcome of that war is what China learns how he can behave. They're doing that now. So, I'm going to say it again. I think Biden was a weak and slow leader. I don't think Trump is a better leader. And let's go on with the trade war. Maybe this is what Trump supporters wanted, maybe not, but here it is. China just cancelled all United States beef contracts, buying from Canada and Brazil instead. Trump's trade war tantrum just cost American farmers billions. China is officially cutting off US beef and shifting its business to Canada and Brazil. $21 billion on American agriculture exports gone. China's tariffs on US beef up 15%. Meanwhile, Canada and Brazil are laughing their way to the bank. American ranchers just got screwed. Trump's chest dumping on tariffs just handed China an easy excuse to ditch the US market. MAGA patriots who cheered the trade war, congrats, your beef industry just got bodied. Hey, but the tariffs are winning, right? Yeah, most comments I get from Trump supporters are, oh, you gotta take the short-term economic loss. We're gonna win big time. We're gonna change the entire system. We're tired of paying for the world. I'm just gonna come all out and say it. You're just wrong. Just wrong. It doesn't work like that. You want to change that system, it's your system. You built it. America built it. It's American-led world system. To demolish it is to demolish your sources of revenue. It's not hurting EU, Canada, China. It's hurting American interests because they are winning the most from the current world system. For some reason, some Americans don't know that. We know that. Now jumping to Russia, because, you know, Ukraine had done it again. I don't know if it's to demonstrate to Putin and to Trump both that they can do it, but they have done it again. The second day in a row that Ukraine attacked Moscow with drones, not just refineries. Drones reached the heart of Russia again. A UAV hit an elite residential complex in Moscow. Possibly the drone was suppressed by electronic warfare and took his own route. Thing is, people in Moscow, they're seeing this war daily now. They know that Putin is unable to stop these drones. Trump is now seeing 24 hours past, like when he was inaugurated. Now it has almost 2 months. He has no clue what he's doing. He cannot end this war. And Ukraine is just fighting for survival, hitting Russian refineries, sending drones into Moscow. Now I want to give credit where credit is due. We have Finland, a country that has fought the Soviet Union twice, actually. They made the deal with the Soviet Union. Now they're free from it ever since they joined NATO. They abandoned their official neutrality policy. Now they're fully pro-European Union, pro-NATO and pro-Ukraine. Finland and Ukraine have signed a bilateral defense cooperation agreement. Finland's defense ministry said that it would give a new military aid package to Ukraine worth around 200 million euros, including artillery ammunition to help with the war with Russia. Finland is the biggest artillery force in Europe and one of the biggest reserve armies in the world, actually one of the biggest, not the biggest. They are a force to be reckoned with. Putin knows this. We are very glad that our Nordic brother is behaving on the right side of history. We stand with Finland for sure. Let's see how Germany is reacting. Europe's leading economy, the Rheinmetall, is opening factories left and right. And these factories are starting to produce capabilities that otherwise would have brought in massive revenues to the United States. But now, no, because we want to buy European, because it doesn't come with the kill switch like that. Rheinmetall's new 155mm artillery shell plant, how do you say it? Lower Saxony, is due to be completed next month. We'll probably add annual production capacity of 50,000 shells yearly, initially, bringing Rheinmetall's global total up to at least 800,000 a year. We'll produce 100,000 a year in 2026 and 200,000 a year later. Also, F-35 centrifugalage will be produced. And the entire German economy and automotive industry is right now planning to go over to military production. Because, you know, with the export of Chinese EVs, I mean, European automotive industry is doing really bad, really, really bad. And this could be the way out, with Ursula von der Leyen trying to pump 800 billion into the European defense sector. I mean, these automotive factories owned by Volkswagen, for example, they could be dual-purpose factories. I'm not kidding you. Call me stupid. Oh, you don't know how factories work. This is exactly what Germany did before World War II. Dual-purpose factories, civilian factories that could be converted into military ones really fast, and they did that. We need to do that again. And Volkswagen has the capacity. There would be orders because everybody wants to buy European now in Europe. So if they decide to invest and start pumping out tanks and infantry fighting vehicles from Volkswagen's factories, hey, we would buy. They would make money. And it's the US who is losing here because, you know, people don't want to buy that anymore then. All right, my friends, thank you for watching, trusting your time with me. I'll be back tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow is an additional video for you. It's going to talk about Russian propaganda and how it works. I'm going to open it up really good for you. So be back tomorrow. Yes, Saturday. I'm going to upload a video on Saturday for you. Be sure to be back and subscribe to be notified. Also, if you are a monthly member on Buy Me a Coffee, you're helping me big time to do these videos, and I want to send you a patch for it. You can see, oh, you cannot see the patches, sorry, but you deserve one of these. Shoot me a message and Buy Me a Coffee. I'll send out the patch your way. Until my next video, my friends, which will be tomorrow, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Call out narratives and think critically about the stories shaping our world. I only promote brands I vet, and I do hope you find Ground News as valuable as I do in my work. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video.